You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Catch A Contractor After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Catch A Contractor After Show.
All right, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us for another. All right.
He's a man.
All right.
Wow.
There you go. Thank you, Stephen Lemieux in the booth has decided what song will be accompanying us for this Catch A Contractor. That's a nice choice, Stephen. We appreciate that.
Just for you, John and Steve.
Yeah, very good.
You know,
Right.
that was often what we would hum when we were
Yeah, as we're on the job site.
He's a man.
As I was saying, this is an AfterBuzz TV After Show for Catch A Contractor. I'm John Comerford. I'm joined in the studio by Steve Bottomley.
Hi, John.
Hey, Steve.
How you been?
I'm very good.
Good.
Phil Svitek, who's often here, and Kevin Gundergaard are not with us today, so it's just the two of us. So we'll soldier on without them. Okay, this was a very different Catch A Contractor than we're used to. I was totally expecting the same kind of, a little, and great. Well, obviously the structure is the same, but little twist and turn there.
Wow, was it? Because the first time we're seeing the contract, you're already going, oh, look at that. No signage on the building.
Yeah, you were thinking pretty.
Oh, look
yeah.
at this guy. Look at this guy. And
I tell you, I was hoodwinked because in the beginning it starts off just like they all start off. We're sympathizing with the family. Think, oh my God, how can this guy leave him like this? It's terrible. Well, to not have a drain, or to think that he can have a drain coming off a deck and without going and down. I'm sorry, without having a shower without a drain, etc.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, well, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's leaving a downspout like crazy that's pouring water into a child's room.
Into the child's room.
And leaving it like that.
And there is, you find out what the issue was, or to a degree, but there was still kind of a, I don't care how bad the job goes south. When the water's going into the kid's room, you got to do something.
Well, here's the thing that I think they were getting at, and this is where I went with it. He put he took the downspout down and put the plastic up because they were about to do stucco.
Right.
They wouldn't sign the form.
Right.
So, and if we believe what he said, which was they didn't want to talk to him anymore, didn't want to have anything to do with it anymore, he couldn't even come back because he didn't have permission to be on the property to take the plastic out and put the downspout back up.
Oh, that's true.
So if that were the case, then I kind of go, well, then and why, if you're a homeowner and you have your room, the downspouts there, and water's getting into your kid's room for 2 years and you don't do anything about it, that's just ridiculous.
And Adam kind of made the comment there. He's like, just saying.
You're not in a wheelchair.
Yeah, you're not in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
They really kept this one close until, the reveal. And once the reveal hit, you're like, oh, wait a minute. Now let's go back and listen to what they were saying, what Heather and Russell were saying. The Floyds.
Yeah.
They had the kitchen work done. Now, we don't know if that was done by Tom.
Yeah, we don't know.
The bid was for $71, and he got paid $43.
No, we don't know if he got paid. What we know is that Russell and the wife paid out $43,000.
$43,000.
Now, who they paid that to, we don't know.
Right,
We don't know
because
the breakdown.
the interior looked pretty good.
Yeah, the kitchen looked nice. It's good, nice finishes. It looked good.
And if it wasn't Tom, you kind of wonder what happened to that contractor.
Exactly. But I also, the way Tom was talking about, I know how you people are. He didn't use those words, but basically saying, I know how you people, that's why I wanted the waiver signed, because there are some people, and let's face it, I'm sure you've worked for them, I know I've worked for them, there's no pleasing them, they have completely unrealistic expectations, and no matter what you do, no matter how you couch it, no matter how specific and explicit you are about what they should expect, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and you can't call them crazy.
No. You can.
But you can certainly dance around the word.
Yeah, yeah. And
you're being very creative right now. I've even taken, shown pictures. I've taken video. I've actually taken
clients to places where I've shown them, okay, this is what it's going to look like when it's done.
Yeah.
And even though they're experiencing it with their own eyes, then when it gets done at their house, they go, this is not what I was expecting at all. I said,
Yeah.
how could you?
Yeah.
We showed you ahead of time what it was going to be.
Yeah, in general, just like what Russell was doing, you can't get a good answer out of him.
No.
Even if you break it down into, look, it's either going to be this or this,
Yeah.
and we have to decide now, they'll still kind of dance around, well, I don't understand why it can't be this.
Yeah.
Because we're not on Mars. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Because there are laws of physics here that pertain.
Yeah.
And we just can't.
So they had Tom in the trap, and they,
Yeah.
you know, they rushed Tom. He's like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, these guys. And he knew right away. He's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And Russell's not, I can't go in there.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell?
Exactly.
It's like such a. I will not put it, and it wasn't like I'm not going to be in the same room with that guy because I have some moral indignation about it.
Right.
He just looked scared. He looked like he was a wuss.
Yeah.
That he didn't want to face him, but not because he was afraid he was going to get hurt, but he's going, oh shoot, I'm going to get found out.
Yeah, exactly. And he's in there with this, you know, I mean, Skip and Adam are like, well, you can't. And you notice everything changed as soon as Tom's like, going, yeah, bring him up. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then it was basically, okay, well, listen.
I'm not going in there.
Yeah.
And he looks off screen at one of the producers and he says, there's no way I'm getting in the room with that guy. And I just went, what do you mean? This is your chance.
Yeah, it's and you're surrounded, if you're worried about your safety, you're surrounded by people.
Do you see the big guys around there? Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, and Tom didn't seem to be that threatening.
No.
So
He just wants to bring him up. And then the weird thing was he had all his clothes with him. What the hell is he doing walking around with his clothes? That seemed like he was trying to book out.
Oh.
And he wanted to make sure he had all his stuff with him.
I think they did try to keep him in there a couple of times.
Well, you see the way he was looking around. Okay, so
Yeah.
they have their big meeting, their showdown, and he's still trying to squirm his way out. And he was actually looking around. This is
Yeah.
not Tom. Russell was looking around as if he was looking for the out. Where's
Yeah.
the door? How can I think almost as if he was going to run out without his wife.
And obviously this is the first season, so he didn't know what
Yeah.
the deal was, and I don't know how it was pitched, and I don't know. Hey, we'll come in and we'll find the guy and we'll finish it and everything.
Yeah.
But seriously, I mean, it must have been that moment where he realized, oh yeah, there was that waiver. Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
I wonder if he kept
in the
any
beginning,
paperwork.
what change orders? No, we didn't have change orders.
No, Tom covered the
No,
drain.
yeah, we didn't. Yeah, oh yeah.
And then when they get on the job, Tom's like, "Oh no, you need this, you need this." It's
Yeah.
like he knew the drill.
Yeah.
He knew what they were talking about.
Yeah, and then of course, what was smart about Tom? He had the paperwork to back it up.
Yeah, he sure did. Surprising how that works. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
exactly.
It's
it's like the person you're working for, and you're going, okay, I'm going to need a lot of paper trail on this one because
Yeah.
it's going to come back to haunt me.
Yeah, or save me.
Exactly.
In which case,
Yeah.
he's pulling it out, going.
Yeah.
So it was it surprised both of us.
Yeah.
They go, oh wait a minute, oh, and then this is what I liked about it, because if you've ever been on the other side of that,
Yeah.
you finally get to see, look, it's not always a contractor. Sometimes it doesn't matter who it is. You're going to get the crazy couple.
Yeah.
They're not crazy, just the couple that's never going to be satisfied.
Or I mean, let's face it, we don't even know. I mean, somebody could easily make the case that they not only were they not crazy, but they were just trying to get something for nothing.
Yeah,
Or
true.
they wanted more out of than what they were paying for. So they stopped paying for everything, and they wanted the job done.
Right.
And it looks like, hey, here's a good way. Let's go with Catch A Contractor. Let's be on there. We'll make our little appearance, and then they'll finish our place up for free. Won't cost us anything.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll just, we'll spin this cool story.
Now, we obviously don't know if that's the truth, but you could easily make that argument.
I'd like to know, and unfortunately, for legal reasons, I'm sure they can't, but I'd sure like to know what some of the conversations were between the owners and the contractor.
Yeah. I'd also like to know the
paper on it.
conversations that didn't make it or got edited out, because some of that's, I mean, just after it's all said and done, they bring Russell and I don't remember his wife's name, whatever her name is. They bring her back up to see the reveal, and they show her Heather. Thank you. And then Adam starts grilling him a little bit, and he was pretty. I thought he was very diplomatic about it. He goes, "Yeah, maybe you embellished a little bit." He's not outright, he's letting them. Yeah, it's not like he's really accusing them.
No, and Adam's a very disarming guy. He's got that perpetual smile, even when he's shredding you with an insult. He's just got this kind of let's all just be friends here. And again, Skip is the one that can be intimidating.
Yeah. Well, he point blank said so.
Right.
Asked them straight out.
And here's the thing that you have to give credit to whoever did the work. They did a great job.
Yeah, it looked
that
fabulous.
upper area, whether they earned it or deserved it or not, they certainly, put the work in, and they were really impressed with Tom.
Yeah.
So it was just,
Yeah, Tom knew what he was doing.
What a
Not only did he have the
surprise.
right paperwork, but he had the right experience, and he did a good finish. So it's like kudos to Tom. What a great way to have to be able to finally go, okay, these people have been hounding me, or at least is not hounding me, but they're in my craw. I finally get to let this out, and it's on television, and I come out looking like I know what I'm doing, because I do.
Yeah, exactly. And I just am so curious to know how much they know about the situation going in.
Who, Tom?
No, Adam and Skip.
Oh, right,
were they as
right.
blown away in that meeting as like, well, wait a minute, this thing's going all over the place now.
They seem to be. I mean,
They
the
seem
way
to be to
it
me,
looked
yeah.
like is like when they said, "Look, I don't know who to believe anymore." I believe that.
Right.
Because I think they go in. I'm sure they're they get called, or producers or whatever figure out, okay, this will be a good one. This will be a good one, and then they go meet the people, and it feels to me like they were hoodwinked a little bit.
Yeah, especially when the paperwork did start coming out, and the conversations did turn, and and again, they're talking to Russell, and he's like, I don't have time to do the email or whatever, and it's like he starts to listen to himself and realize how lame he sounds, so he can't even finish his argument.
Yeah.
The email's like, everyone's like, oh, really? You don't have time to print an email?
Do a search for an email.
Because you're so busy doing what?
Exactly, in your flip-flops and your dress shirt.
Yeah, some high-priced...
You're willing to live with your house like this for 2 years, but you can't figure out how to find your email?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
That has that information that will
that could exonerate you.
Yes.
Exactly, or not exonerate you so much, but like you said, support it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was fun. It was a fun change. We got a little bit of information about why you don't want water just drain off the roof. That, if you are washing yourself, perhaps you want to contain the, it's called gray water.
Yeah.
And that should go into, but here's the thing. There is so much unpermitted and crazy buildings in LA. I mean, they are not going to run out of people.
No.
I'm sure.
Never.
But whether or not they're going to find enough that, contractors have done.
But here's the thing. I mean, it was just fun to watch the show, but this is the part of it that really bothered me in a weird way. So here's this couple and they want their stuff done, and everybody can sympathize with that and understand that. But then to throw somebody under the bus, to say that this guy doesn't know what he's doing, they're trying to mess with his livelihood.
Yeah.
It's not that he didn't put the drain in, or took it out, or covered it over, or whatever it is they said that they did. Apparently, it wasn't even on the plan, so or at least not there.
Based on 20 minutes of hanging out with this couple.
Yeah.
And dealing with similar, it's just about what do I get?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's
really
like just so you can have a stupid little that you couldn't get your lame ass off the couch to make yourself.
Right.
You're gonna ruin this guy's livelihood. I couldn't see anything that he did wrong.
No, and he's absolutely right about the stucco, and I would have done the same thing. If you don't give me a sign off, if you don't acknowledge that, especially if there's red flags. This guy must have had red flags all over the place talking to him. And then and here's the other thing. Why the hell did they have the shower finished with the shower head and everything? And it's usually it's just a stub.
Yeah, I know. But
so you go ahead and you put your nice square shower head on before it's finished to get banged.
I can only guess that because they had the thing graded correctly, it was just running off the
just
deck.
using it.
They were just using it. Yeah. So, we might as well, because otherwise it's just going to have a little stub out there for 2 years.
Yeah. So let's just use it. And let's just drain it off and let the neighborhood deal with our runoff.
Whatever.
But no,
that's typical of the way they were portrayed. Is that they don't care about anybody else. They only care what they want, and that's paramount. And who cares what anybody else wants? We don't care if this ruins the neighborhood or this ruins this guy's livelihood.
And it's really hard to back off of. No, Tom covered the drain.
Yeah.
I mean, it was one small thing, but okay, unless you saw him do that.
Yeah.
Then you would have to say, well, we don't know what happened to the drain. There used to be a drain here.
Right.
But. So they're saying Tom did it, and I was like, well, I didn't, and I tell you why I didn't, and I know why I didn't.
Yeah.
So
and there wasn't even a shower there, according to him on the plans.
Yeah.
That shower was over there, at a different place, and
yeah,
that just.
But again,
Pissed me off.
so the stuff does happen, and some people don't want to hear that. You know, what do you mean it's going to crack? Is it, you know?
Yeah,
whenever we would get the slabs poured,
Yeah.
the concrete guy would always give you the 3-point.
What's the guarantee?
Warranty. The warranty is no one's ever going to steal it. It's going to get hard in 2 weeks or something, in 90 days or whatever it's going to, and it's going to crack.
So it guarantees you.
Guarantees you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what it does.
Yeah.
Stucco cracks, so does cement.
Yep.
It cracks.
It just does, and especially in LA and earthquake country.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I liked the little info bit that they added. I like the twist. It was nice to see the twist. I was just frustrated for the contractor having been on that side of it, but
because you know going
good
into the
for him,
show,
he was able to do it.
Yeah, but going into the show, you're already at a disadvantage as a contractor because it's called Catch A Contractor.
Right.
You already have the audience primed and prepped for the audience for the contractor to be the bad guy. So you have to overcome so much to just to come out even.
Right.
And here this guy did everything right, or at least the way it was portrayed, did everything right, had all the right things they needed to have signed. And then and still wanted to finish the gig because he contacted them, tried to contact them again, and then they were the ones that said, no, we don't want you to contact us, all that kind of stuff. And so even with all that, doing everything right, he still has to overcome the preset of the show. Yeah,
and he has, that's a great point, because I have it right here, change order defense. Mm-hmm. As soon as they start talking to him, like, oh, okay, that's a good way to do it. You know, instead of like, I didn't know what the guys are doing. Oh, you're going to hide behind the change orders, you know, and Russell said, I don't want to go in there. Wow, man, what the hell happened? Why isn't Russell, you know, who is this guy? And because of the setup of the show, which is a nice payoff later. You know, when the switch does happen, it's like, oh my God.
Here's a change order.
But it was fun.
No changers. And at the end there with Russell standing in his driveway talking about, I didn't know that he was more hurt by skipping Adam than by what Tom did to him. And in fact, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I know.
Did he break a nail during this conversation? What happened to this guy?
And Adam saying, yeah, he's in the back. We can bring him out and you can say thanks if you want. It's like, no, I don't want to do that. It's like, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God! Well, I don't know if they expected to come out, and I don't know how. Again, we don't know the truth of this or anything. But Russell came off looking like an idiot.
You know, and the wife was really quiet, and you just kind of wonder what the dynamic there is. But you know, I kind of feel for Jarvis. He's going to have a dry room, but you know, I don't know if he's going to have an awesome.
Let's just say he doesn't have the best mentor.
Yeah, you know, for conflict resolution.
Yeah, good. Not a very good model to look up to.
Anyway, it was a nice twist.
It was a good twist. I don't know what else to say about it except that was a lot of fun. I'm glad they did it.
I think the Floyds got much more than they deserved.
Okay, but then let's talk this. Because they got more than they deserved, didn't you want them to just Skip and Adam to say, screw that?
Yeah.
Look, this show is you know, it's the Catch A Contractor, and here we're catching a family, so that's not what this show is. Secondly, you don't deserve it.
Right.
It's a privilege to have somebody come in here and finish something that's been done to you, to make it right, to make you whole, and you're taking advantage of it for no reason. Yeah. So you don't deserve it.
I think there should have been something. I mean, you know, and good on Tom to step up and go, yeah, let's get it done. Yeah. You know, because that was basically the only thing they had left.
Right.
But yeah, it would have been nice to have them step up and, you know, just. Hey, Russell, why don't you put the tool belt on?
Yeah, exactly. I would say that's what I would have wanted to say. You know what? I'll tell you what. Since the both of you come, let's figure this out. Yeah. We'll both put it together.
Yeah. But Tom,
since we don't know who's really at fault or who's to blame, let's just all work together.
And I'm sure the conversation would have been Tom saying, no, send them away.
Yeah, exactly.
Trust me, guys. If we want to get this thing done, just send them as far away. But yeah, there was that sort of thing. It was like, because you having been there, you do kind of go, you got it anyway. Yeah, they won, and that pisses me off. Yeah. My whole sense of right and wrong. And here, how many people out there really need something help? They need help with finishing their houses or whatever, and rightly deserve it because they got screwed over by somebody. And here these schmucks are. Yeah. Yeah. But at least you got to see the other side of it.
Yeah.
At least he got to see that it's not always a contractor's issue. And if he's a good contractor, he's never going to have that issue because he's going to basically do what you do, which is, look, you either have to sign this or we have to move on. I can't move forward and be protected.
Right. And they can't be predicted either. The waiver works both ways.
Right.
So but it'll be interesting. And the other thing I'm thinking, even if this wasn't, let's say, actual footage, or it was all made up.
Yeah.
That's still a damn good episode, just because that's nice. It's a good little twist there.
Yeah.
So maybe maybe the whole thing is made up.
And I kind of wanted to watch it again then to see how real.
So you could see any.
Yeah, how real that. Oh my God, I can't believe he's saying that. And
right.
It's like, well, yeah. So here's the other thing: they may absolutely believe their side of the story too.
Yeah, they may.
I mean,
although it's really hard to, like you said, it's hard to push back on the whole shower drain thing. I mean, if you really didn't do it, how do you?
Yeah.
I mean, when it was done. It's not like all of a sudden it just appears.
If Tom's version of it was pretty simple, we had to do a change.
Yeah.
They didn't sign the paper. I had to walk away.
Yeah.
So it sat there for 2 years.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't sign the paper. And the other thing, by the way, Russell, is you do have recourse when your contractor leaves.
Yeah.
You really do. I mean, if you've got any sort of standing, there's places you can go. If you're crazy, you can try to hire another one.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing is like, okay, for 2 years, first of all, you expected to spend $71,000. You've only spent 43 of it. So yeah, granted, that's a big chunk of change, but you expected to pay a lot more.
Right.
So you still have that money because you budgeted for it.
Right.
But you never hired another contractor? You never went out in 2 years to get somebody else to fix this?
With a 15-month kid?
Yeah, with a 15-month-old kid.
The water's
you
going...
have that money budgeted. It's still there, I'm assuming. So why, and this guy decided to walk, even if he did decide to walk, let's say he's right, let's say Russell's right, everything he said is absolutely right, then go get a different contractor. You still have all that money that you had budgeted for the job.
At the very least, you could find somebody to keep the water from going into your kid's room.
Yeah, for 2 years.
For 2 years.
Yeah, just doesn't seem something off there.
Something's
like
a little
crazy.
Off. Yeah. Oh well.
All right.
Looked good.
Moving on. Looked good.
They do good work.
Well, I think that's all we have time for.
I think that's it.
That's it. We've covered everything we needed to cover.
Pretty much.
It's a lot of fun show. It's great to see Adam having fun again with his quips and jibes.
Absolutely.
Always a pleasure to see that.
He's got a lot of them, and he's, like I said, he smiles the whole time he's tearing you apart. But he didn't need to tear Tom apart. In fact, they were both really surprised on how good he was.
Don't you think that deep down they're going, oh, man, I don't want to... Yeah, I don't want to tear any of these guys, but because they seemed like they were really pissed off for a second there.
Yeah.
But they had to do a show. Because we got to finish something, otherwise there's no reveal.
So that
Speaking of finishing
something,
Adam
can sleep.
We got to finish this up. Any last words?
When it comes to contractors,
there you go. That's all Steve has to say. Hire a good one.
Oh, hire a good one.
That's it. Stephen, I want to thank you again very much for the music. Keep us surprised next time. I can't wait to hear what you have in store for us. And
you can find me at Bottomley Stephen at Twitter. Also, check out bandcamp.com and bring up Bears and You for some good music.
Right, and we'll also be doing Justified, so check out that and Anatomy of a Movie. And tune in next week for us here right at whenever you can for Catch A Contractor.
Yeah, just keep an eye out. They're around. We're around. It's all they talk about at Home Depot.
That's it. We're done. We'll talk to you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.